Down! Green team! Green team! Set! Hey!
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. What's going on, everybody? Good evening. It is Sunday, December 7th, 2025. Isn't that crazy? We are like legit under a month, right? We are on to the next, if you will. 2026 is knocking on the door. But I'll tell you, 25 has left an impression. For some teams, a good one. For some teams, a horrible one. We'll talk about all that in just a little bit. But what a day of football we've had, man. Oh, my gosh. I mean, has this not been a day in the NFL? We've had, who thought the Steelers had it in them, right? That was crazy earlier today. Of course, the Colts would start falling apart at the absolute worst time of the season. Saints actually win a really good game, which, I don't know. The question now is are the Saints, somewhat of a decent team underneath the hideous costume they wore all year? Or does that just mean the Buccaneers aren't as good as we thought they were, especially in crunch time? Dolphins and Jets was what we thought it would probably be. I have no idea who the Vikings or the Commanders are. Both teams have identities that I swear this team, they change up every single week, but they're consistently just mediocre or bad. It's crazy. And of course, Tony Pollard dominates in Cleveland. 161 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, the Titans get themselves a much-needed win, but it's the Browns. Just say, and the Bengals struggling with the Bills. Or shall I say it the other way around? The Bills struggle with the Bengals. Yeah, this is going to be fun, y'all, tonight. We're going to jump on into the Raiders losing another one. Bears and Packers looking like a possible overtime. And, oh yeah, the Rams, they're dominating yet again for Cardinals. All of that, the college bracket has been released. Down goes Mount Union, down goes North Dakota State, down goes South Dakota State. The craziness has begun, and then there were 4 in some college conferences and divisions. Oh, it's going to be a fun one, y'all. Be ready. Let's do this. Grab you something delicious to eat, because 3 and Out is here, y'all. You are now tuned in live to 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Welcome, all you diehard football fans around the country. What's going down, y'all? Larry B here, bringing it to you here live on a beautiful Sunday evening. And, well, again, here we go. Football is off to the races, man. Can you believe we are getting close to the end of the year, man? It is week 15 coming up on Thursday. Isn't that something? Finishing up week 14 now. The playoff picture is getting as clear as day. And here it comes, man. So really excited for everybody tuning in tonight, man. We're going to have ourselves a fun show. Again, lots of college talk coming up, a little bit of high school. And, of course, we're going to jump on into a lot of NFL. With that said, I'm going to bring on my host, man. Well, my co-host, my dude, man. Talking all things volleyball on Monday nights on Set Point. That women's tournament's going on right now, so you want to check that out. And, of course, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, IE Sports Radio SoCal Insider, and, of course, the co-host of this show, 3 and Out. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Teran Rodriguez. Good day, sir. How are you today, man?
I'm doing good, Larry. It's time to talk some football. I'm glad I'm just seeing the Rams just BTA the Cardinals. It has been absolute slaughter city.
It has been something, hasn't it, Teran? I'll tell you. This is what a day. I mean, some of these games, like I said, they're kind of like an I told you so. The Raiders looking much like the Raiders have looked for about 20 years now. So, that was no surprise to me. But, yeah, this Bears-Packers game is a fun one. Oh my
Can
gosh.
can Fox literally just change the Rams Cardinals game to that game to Bears Packers?
Yeah, it's ugly.
We don't
That
want to
game,
see the Cardinals get BTA'd anymore.
the poor Cardinals. I know. They were leading. They actually had a lead, I think, at the very beginning of the
They
game.
did. They led like 7-0 at one point, 7-0 and 7-3, and then the Rams started to do this thing called adjust.
Yeah, and well, we could see what happens here. So yeah, not fun. So with that, man, let's go ahead and jump on into our week, because Teran, we had a crazy day of college football yesterday. So we're going to keep you up with these NFL games, and of course, second half of the show, we're going to be recapping the whole day and getting you ready. We got some Sunday night football coming on up tonight. It's going to be a fun one with Chiefs hosting the Texans. That's going to be a fun game. And then, of course, tomorrow we got the Eagles taking on the Chargers on Monday Night Football. And then why not? Thursday Night Football to kick off Week 15. We got the Falcons taking on the Bucks. I'm looking at the Bucks a lot different now after today. I'm sorry. And then, of course, at the end, a little bit of power rankings and my little tiers I like to make and why I put them there and what these teams are kind of doing at the moment, especially into this final week of the year. So, or sorry, a final month of the year, getting close to that final week. But with that said, guys, let's go ahead and jump on in. Just talk a little teeny bit about what we talked about yesterday. Always something we do here on the show. We kind of just recap a little bit what we talked about yesterday. If you want the whole deal, by all means, head on over to yesterday's show on YouTube. Man, we had a lot of talk about high school football. I made a gigantic argument of why Bishop Gorman needs to be number one in the country. I'm sorry. Darren and I think we hit that on the head. That was a perfect argument. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. Sorry, not sorry, whatever, but it's the truth. But going back into yesterday, as a matter of fact, gotta give some love, man. Good old South Lake Carroll in Texas. We're getting close to the end of the year here for everything in high school football. But of course, for for Texas, that bracket seems to go pretty much all the way till Christmas. So obviously the big one in California, Santa Margarita taking on De La Salle. That's NorCal versus SoCal right there. A little NorCal, SoCal action, always a fun one. But I will say, Taryn, yesterday, Texas, man, we had another. This is, of course, their highest bracket. But South Lake Carroll, man, a team we've been following for quite some time now. We know these guys. Those Texas teams revolve a little bit down there. But nice victory for those guys. Number 5, South Lake Carroll. Shows why Texas runs through the Dragons, man, because these dudes are legit. A slow start turned to a 51-19 beatdown. Looks kind of like the Cardinals and Rams. Poor Denton, man. Denton Geyer as SLC scored 38 straight, man, to roll into the 6A D2 semifinals. So yeah, down goes Denton Geyer. They look like the Cardinals. They're like, yeah, no, you're not. Kind of sad, but crazy victory there, man. South Lake Carroll gets their thing done. They look solid, and we're getting close to the end, like I said, of these high school playoff brackets. But again, like I said, the big one here in Cali, and a really big one, at least around the country for me, because again, we're cheering for our SoCal teams, and of course, making the argument that Bishop Gorman needs to be number one now after everything. But Taryn, of course, like I said, all of our diehard fans out there, when I didn't catch this yesterday, check out that show from yesterday. But anything to add for high school?
Well, I will say South Lake Carroll DeSoto is going to be a banger of a matchup. Like, get your popcorn ready, or your big popcorn ready in terms of this Texas high school football game.
Oh, it's going to be fun, man. DeSoto, we know them all too well as well. So great stuff there in that bracket. So as the Packers look like they're probably going to score a touchdown right now, and they did. All right. Well, Packers just took the lead right now, 28-21 with 3:32 to go in the fourth. As we do that, let's roll on over to the 3C2A, because Taryn, it happened. Everything we thought, it happened. San Mateo dominated number 2, Modesto, 38-7 to claim the NorCal championship again and punch its ticket to a 4th straight 3C2A title. Bulldogs rolled up 38 unanswered and never looked back, man. Next stop, well, what happened at the same exact time? Number 1 Golden West took down number 2 Saddleback 33-15 to secure the first SCFA title in program history. Yeah, these guys are going, man. Kuanoa K, the guy that I would never say his last name. This dude was amazing. Tanner Schmidt, just awesome job by these guys. a defense that closed the door, a perfect 12-0 season stays alive, state title next to take on San Mateo. Teran, you and I are going to be previewing the heck out of this next week, but a little teeny preview, man, or at least a little recap of these games. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious just because San Mateo is the class of Northern California, and then Golden West has just been the class of all junior college altogether. What I'm hearing is that the championship game will be played at Orange Coast College, thankfully, because back in the old days, Golden West used to play its games at Orange Coast College, which, I mean, they still play. They kind of still play sometimes, but they now have their own field and whatnot. So it's just a better venue, more seating, and honestly, it's a great place to host the championship game, and I can't wait for it.
That's really freaking cool. Well, nice work there to those guys. And Darren, we're going to have ourselves some fun talking about these guys next week, but just an amazing year for both these teams. And obviously, I know you and I are going to be taking those guys from Huntington Beach, obviously SoCal bias, but we know it's not going to be an easy feat, man. San Mateo has been dominant for years, and they are the most consistent team in the 3C2A to at least get to the semis. But for sure, to at least get to the championship, but for sure the semis. So this should be a really good year. I mean, a really good football game, man. I am so excited for this. And I just, I wish both teams all the best, but wouldn't it be special? Golden West has never been here. Here they are. Wouldn't it be special? First time happening?
It would, yeah.
I would love it.
But San Mateo, as you said, they're not an easy opponent. They got that dog in them.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. So yeah, man, here we go. Coming up next week. Looking forward to it, man. The Rustlers taking on the Dogs, the Bulldogs. So it should be fun. So, all right, Taryn, let's go ahead and switch it on up now into some NJCAA, because we got to say, before we get to the semifinal here, or to the semifinals were played, both of them now, and obviously Hutchinson, right? Like it was going to be anybody else, right?
Right.
Like anybody else was going to be going. Okay. Obviously there is another team, Iowa Western, but before we get there, Teran, Dynasty confirmed. We talked about it yesterday. I gave a really nice preview to it, and College of DuPage does it again. They roll past good old NDSCS, beat these guys down. Well, didn't beat them down, but 36-13. Dude, they did it. They secured the historic 5-peat after an early deficit. The Shaps, exploded for 22 in the second quarter and never looked back. I mean, it was amazing. Bully was electric. The defense swarmed with 2 touchdowns, and DuPage once again stands atop of the NJCAA Division III. They did it, Teran. The 5-peat has been done.
We talk about dynasty, use the word dynasty. It's so tough to win a championship at any level in terms of football, but to do it 5 years in a row is just absolutely astounding. So I really got to give it up to DuPage. They really did outstanding, and it's incredible. It's incredible what they've done, and you kind of got to wonder if there's ever like a promotion or a relegation thing. I think they got to be relegated up to Division I. I mean, maybe it has something to do with the size of the school or the recent success and whatnot, but you kind of have to have a relegation thing where you have to go up or other teams have to go down.
Oh yeah, I agree. I totally agree. It would be it'd be cool to see these guys compete at that next level, man. So great stuff there for these guys. Again, College of DuPage, the Chaparrals doing it, getting it done, getting another title under their belt. So congratulations to those guys. Let's flip it on over now to the main event, because Iowa Western, obviously, we talked about that. They played on Friday night. Or on Friday. Talked about that yesterday. They defeat Tyler, which was an amazing game. We knew they were going to be on a collision course at some point. Great game, 41-29. Number 2 Iowa Western over number 3 Tyler. The Reavers puncture ticket to the national championship after a 21-0 first quarter explosion. It was just amazing. These guys dominated. Amazing job on the ground. 223 yards total. Luke Ulrich in the Apaches battled, man, but the Reavers 3 interceptions, 4 sacks. They shut the door, and that sends Iowa Western to Canyon, Texas. They got it done. But yesterday, we had the second team do it. Number 1 Hutchinson, number 4 Northwest Mississippi. And well, Teran, would it go any other way? These guys played their hearts out, and it was just extremely one-sided. This was as one-sided as it gets. Hutchinson punks their ticket to the national championship 27-0 over number 4 Northwest Mississippi. Christian Johnson went off 223 yards, passing 103 on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Dude went off. The Blue Dragons defense held the Rangers to just 220 yards and never let them reach the red zone, which is amazing. So Hutchinson is now 11-0, and they're on their way to Canyon, Texas to take on Iowa Western. This is a rematch of last year. It's going to be on ESPNU. Was this ever going to be a different game? Was it ever going to be not these two?
Right. No, Hutchinson and Iowa Western are inevitable with one another. They're on a collision course. Like they pretty much were separated from the rest of the pack. And I know there were times where teams got close to knocking either one off, but honestly, those two are inevitable, and those two are the two-headed monster in NJCAA Division I.
Yeah, they're so good. They're so good. So I don't know, man. I mean, as of right now, we're gonna preview this coming on up this weekend. Looking forward to it. But I don't know. At the moment, who are you thinking? This could definitely change by Saturday. We could have a lot of other things to look at with this. But as of right now, what are you thinking?
For the time being, I have Hutchinson. I think I just think they're on a tear. And until, like I've said last show, until someone has an answer for them, I just can't pick against Hutchinson.
Yeah, same here. These guys, Hutch looks so good, man, and I want to see if Iowa Western can do it. I mean, that'd be a lot of fun. I hope that they give them a fight, but yeah, man, this is crazy. I think a couple of years ago, Iowa Western shut these guys out. So in this same exact national championship, so it's pretty crazy. But how about that, man? They never Northwest Mississippi never got to the red zone.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that defense of Hutchinson's is the real deal, and that sometimes you just need to have. It goes to show that defense does win championships. So, incredible defensive masterclass from Hutchinson and Northwest Mississippi. They gave it all they can handle, but honestly, this is Hutchinson we're talking about. Like, you got to play mistake-free football, and your offense has to be clicking against a defense like that.
Yeah, it is. This was crazy. I mean, I can't believe that. Like, are you serious? Didn't even get to the red zone. Like, that's crazy, man. But it goes to show you how good this football team really is. And Hutch is top class. I'm telling you, I would love to see, like, if Hutch wins and whoever wins in the 3C2A, dude, I would love to see that game.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so fun. Whoever wins that'd be fun. But anyway, all right. So let's go ahead and just roll on into the others really quick. D3, D2. Really quick, Teran, we made some predictions yesterday. Let's see how we did. Well, some of these not so well. Some of these pretty good. Wheaton. Well, that was pretty good there. Number 19, Wheaton knocks off number 15, DePaul, 49-24. They roll into the quarterfinals, man. The Thunder, they roll on. They look good. I mean, again, I think we both picked these guys. What a solid performance.
Absolutely. Without a doubt in my mind, it was a great performance overall. And let's be honest, I felt this one was coming from a mile away. Nothing personal, but this was just a great game. And John Carroll deserves a lot of credit.
Well, John Carroll, that's the next one. Wheaton getting that one done. But
Wheaton, I'm looking left to right. We're going right to left. But yeah, Wheaton just pretty much dominated DePaul, and that was just a big win right there. I didn't think they were going to go that. No. I shouldn't say that. Wheaton did put up 76 on Crown, and then the fact that they were in a nail biter against Wartburg, I'm surprised they pretty much demolished DePaul. So Wheaton was just the real deal.
Of course they were. They look good, man. So solid football there. Next up, dude, what a freaking game. Let's get on into this one. The elephant in the room, if you will, man. They did it. John Carroll did it. Oh my gosh, this was a rivalry game in the playoffs. Double freaking overtime, dude. The Blue Streaks shocked the Purple Raiders in Alliance in a double overtime classic, ending Mount Union's season and punching their ticket to the quarterfinals. This is a historic upset, man. How about this?
Yeah, absolutely. Just amazing defensive masterclass right there. Look, I don't think anyone picked John Carroll, unless you're a John Carroll fan, but I don't think anyone gave Mount Union a chance. Anybody. But John Carroll said, we took that personally. And they played with house money. They played with nothing left to lose. They played with a team that had a whole lot more to gain, nothing to lose. And I think John Carroll honestly deserved to win against Mount Union. And Mount Union, look, they're a great team, but this was just one of those clunker games offensively. So it happens, but unfortunately, Mount Union had this happen at the worst possible time.
They did, and I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to John Carroll, but it's true, man. We know that Mount Union offense is very high powered. You know what? It's a rough game, and these happen, but unfortunately, it happened to them on the stage, and that's it. Mount Union has been around the Stag Bowl since 1993. I think that was their first title they ever won, and here they are, a ton of titles later. These guys know, and these coaches prepare them. They know they're always on that stage. So again, this is just a game that they're going to want back. But great performance for John Carroll. You cannot slight these guys. I'm proud of them. I think they're going to do really well in the next round. But just really, really, really good game there. Congrats to them. Moving forward, man, let's just go ahead and roll through the rest of these really quick. Salisbury, this was a crazy game, man. Johns Hopkins just destroys these guys. The Blue Jays unleash a complete performance here, dominating every facet. And Johns Hopkins, they looked every bit like the title contender. 45-13 over Salisbury. Susquehanna. Teran, we both thought, these guys were going to get it done. And, well, the Riverhawks, they keep their postseason going. They destroyed Eastern 29-0. Got that one done. Now, this is the game we did not see coming because we both said that Trinity would be the tougher team. And, well, it was Barry, man. Barry knocks off Trinity, Texas, 31-23. The Vikings outlast Trinity in a physical battle, riding a huge second half to advance Barry. That was crazy. St. John's and River Falls. That I wanted it to be a better game, especially because that's a Wisconsin-Minnesota kind of battle. But again, River Falls, a Wisconsin team. These guys are nasty. They're extremely well. But I will say this. 42-14. The Falcons soar into the quarterfinals with a statement victory. Who else? Bethel. We both said Platteville would get it done, and no. Bethel, Minnesota defeats a Wisconsin team. The Royals power their way into the next round. Huge clutch second half by these guys, man. Good job by Bethel. And then down goes another Wisconsin team, but this one has an excuse because number one North Central out of Illinois, the Cardinals, they survive a major scare as lacrosse battled to the end, but North Central's explosive offense carries them onward. The defending champs, stay alive. Teran, how about these games, man, D3?
Absolutely amazing. A great games right there. Honestly, the North Central one, Wisconsin lacrosse gave them a massive scare right there. But honestly, North Central was able to hang on. That's what really good teams do. Barry was kind of the shocker right there. I thought that Trinity, Texas, like the upper left bracket was just stunners all over the place. So
they were. That
was probably the most fun of the Division III realm. But again, Wheaton having that offensive outburst was absolutely amazing. And then the lower right was probably the most expected.
That was crazy, man. So moving forward, we're gonna have some fun with these games coming up next this weekend. Just wow, man. I mean, what a freaking week. Division 3 was nuts, man. But Division 2 was pretty crazy itself. Before we go on to Division 2, though, man, any last comments on this D3 bracket?
No, that was pretty much it. Just a lot of amazing games. I can't wait to see what the quarterfinals have in store for us.
Oh, they're going to be fun, man. I'm telling you, these always have a very, very, very good ending every single year. So again, big ups to our boy, Mr. Glenn Ritter. Appreciate you, buddy, for tuning in, man. Thank you, sir. Some of these teams are over there in his neck of the woods in the Midwest there. So let's get on over to Division 2, Teran. And just wow. Touchdown. They keep the title dream alive with a dominant 51-29 victory over Frostburg State. Down goes Frostburg State. We both said it was going to happen, but damn it, wouldn't it have been really sweet if they would have somehow kept this magical season going? But that's like the best season I think Frostburg State's ever had, or one of the best. So these guys look good. They win their bracket, and they get it done, man. The Golden Bears march on to the semis now. Next up, Newberry. We said it, and Newberry, they get it done, man. They stun top-seeded Albany State in Georgia, 31-24 in a thriller. The Wolves keep their Cinderella run alive. So one Cinderella story ended, but the other one's still dancing, man. They punched their ticket to the national semis. What a job. A massive statement win there for Newberry. And then we have Ferris State, obviously, right? 52-29, the defending champions take care of their bracket, and they're headed back to the semis, looking every bit like the national championship threat that they are. And then Harding. Dude, we did not see this one coming. UT Permian Basin fought like extremely hard in this game, but Harding survives this battle, winning 34-28 in a hard-fought bracket showdown here above the end of this bracket in the quarters. The Bison advance the semifinal after one extremely tough test and nearly having their undefeated season and their entire season end there. So, Taryn, how about those 4 games, man?
I had a feeling Newberry was going to advance. That's not really ultimately surprising. I think nobody really gave Newberry a chance just because Albany State was the number 1 seed, but Newberry had defied the odds, and I think that was an incredible win by them. But other than that, it's mostly all chalk for the most part. Harding advanced, and then Kutztown obviously advanced. They were the number 1 seed, and then Ferris, they were the number 1 seed. So Newberry is the only non-number 1 seed to advance out of the regionals and on to the semifinals, which I think is pretty darn awesome. So it's not all chalk.
What if Newberry wins it?
If they win it, then man, that'll feed a lot of families.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I think, man, Newberry, I want to see them continue so bad. I don't know how much longer this is going to go, but I hope that they go all the way. That is amazing. That was a great job by these guys, and just what a season they're having. So moving on, but just overall great, man. So okay, so as of right now, man, so a question I haven't asked yet, but I don't know, who's your favorite right now? Who are you liking?
I'm going to say Ferris State.
I'll take that. Ferris State is still champs. They're champs until they're not champs no more. So solid pick there. I don't know, man. I don't even know who I want right now. I guess I'll stay Ferris too, but oh man, it'd be cool to see a new champ in the house. So with that, Sarah, let's go ahead and roll on over to the NAIA. We're here these last couple of games. Man, that was crazy. So really quick, something I didn't know until earlier today. I had to research this to try to figure out more, but number 2 Kaiser actually advanced without playing the game. Kind of crazy. The NAIA FCS semifinal would just advance Kaiser, or Kaiser will see the semifinal after number 6 Marion was removed from the postseason following a self-reported eligibility violation.
Oh no.
Yeah. So the Seahawks will host a semifinal matchup next week, but Marion, unfortunately, there was a no-no there, and I don't know, I guess somebody came out and said it, but yeah, dude, that did it for Marion. Sucks, right?
Yeah, I mean, normally you would expect that from the high school level, just because of things like that kind of slip through the cracks and whatnot. But on the college level, where you have all this administration, athletic department, that can't slip through the cracks right there. So I wouldn't say that's embarrassing, but that's something that cannot happen on the collegiate level.
Sucks, man. I feel bad for them. Things happen, but man, that sucks. But regardless, next week we're gonna have it here, man. It's gonna be a good one. We talked about in the beginning. We had a few teams. We had Grandview, Kaiser, Morningside, and Benedictine. Well, the one team that we thought for sure would be here, Morningside, after having a really tough, tested year, they're not here. And the one team that we didn't really see, maybe from afar, we liked them all year last year. We thought they were a good team. And this year we were like, oh, they're a dark horse. Well, they're freaking here. Teran, they did it. College of Idaho. So let's go ahead into these games, man. College of Idaho, they storm into the semis with a 41-26 takedown of previously unbeaten number 3, your boys, man, Montana Tech. Ryan Byington ran for 145 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Yotes had forced 3 huge turnovers, and CI, College of Idaho, flipped the script in Butte. These guys get it done. Number 5, Benedictine stuns number 4, Friends on the road, 24-18 to earn a return trip to the NAIA semifinals. The Ravens shut down the NAIA's top rushing and scoring offense and sealed it. Trey Williams gave his game-saving deflection and fumble recovery in the final seconds came up huge. And then, of course, number 1 Grandview dominates again. The Vikings roll past number 7 Lindsey Wilson 35-7 and punks their ticket to the semifinals. A complete performance here, offense, defense, special teams, including an electric Isaac Crackle 85-yard kick return. 26 straight right now in their win streak. How about these NAIA games, Darren?
Well, Grandview beating Lindsey Wilson was kind of obvious. Benedictine Friends was a darn good game. And then College of Idaho, look, I'm going to say this. Montana Tech and College of Idaho, I feel they're kind of similar with one another. It's kind of tough to predict that type of matchup because I think both these teams are rivals. But Idaho really surprised, and I was very and generally impressed by how they played against Montana Tech. So I think that matchup did live up to the hype, and I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in the semifinals.
I think so too. Really a lot of fun there and exciting NAIA football. But yeah, so we'll figure all that out next week. We will go ahead and talk about these games and get on to semis. Into the FCS we go. And this was just a crazy week. Villanova knocks off Lehigh 52-7. Yeah. Wildcats postseason surge continues in a big way. South Dakota slaps around Mercer. I did not see this one coming a million miles away. I didn't see it 2 feet in front of me. This is crazy, man. South Dakota, the freaking what are they? The Coyotes. Sorry, they roll past Mercer 47-0. Man, the Coyotes look dangerous heading into the quarterfinals. Down goes North Dakota State. Illinois State, the Redbirds get it done 29-28. This is the shocker of the playoffs in Fargo. 29-28 again to eliminate the number 1 overall seed, the number 1 overall team. This is one of the biggest upsets in FCS playoff history. Tarleton State, again, coming up from Division II just last year. Here they are, man. 31-13 over the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. These guys get it done, man. 31-13 behind a balanced offense, strong defense. Tarleton is moving on. A game that we didn't talk about, the SWAC Championship. There's not an FCS game, but congratulations to Prairie View for defeating Jackson State 23-21. Nice job there. They're punching their ticket to the Celebration Bowl. We have Montana State defeating Yale. Down goes Yale. Tough go, man. Yale was the last remaining Ivy League team. They got it done, though, all year long, and this year just couldn't. Montana State, obviously, tough customers there. The Bobcats, man, they went on into Missoula. Like I said, I'll keep on saying that, and defeated the Grizz. So, yeah, this is the hard team to beat. Tough go for Yale, but great job for Montana State moving on. Montana, speaking about the Grizz, this was a game that would be a semifinal game usually, but they took down the Jacks. Down goes South Dakota State. Both North and South Dakota State eliminated in this round. Offensive eruption here, man, in Missoula. Montana drops 50 points, man, on South Dakota in a high-powered second round win. The Grizz offense is rolling. And then SF Austin, we talked about this being like the game of the entire bracket right now. Great game, man. We both pick Abilene Christian too. But SF Austin 41 to 34. A Texas showdown that was really fun. And a wild back and forth game with the Lumberjacks of SF Austin advance. Teran, how about these crazy games in the FCS?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of amazing results. I mean, Mercer losing to South Dakota, that was a shocker. South Dakota laid the BTA on Mercer. And Illinois State beating North Dakota State, that was a marquee win right there. I couldn't believe that at first. I was like, dang, Illinois State really wound up winning by 1 point. And I'm gonna call it right now. I bet you they wound up going for 2 on their final drive. It wouldn't surprise me if that were the case. But yeah, it was 2-point conversion to win the games. That is that you play to win the game, and that's what you got to do against a championship caliber team like North Dakota State. Something I will say is that I saw the Montana State game, and I guess Montana State and Yale were a little chirpy, not just during the game, but after the game. One of the Montana State top running backs was chirping still with the Yale players, and the coach and one of the Montana State players had to hold him back. So hopefully for his sake, he doesn't, go off the rails and whatnot. So, but other than that, lots of great results. Now it gets interesting in the upper left bracket. Can Davis swing while the or cut through while the knife is hot?
And we shall see, man. I'm looking forward to this next round. This is going to be a lot of fun. FCS football, always a good one. Teran, let's move on over to the FBS quickly and talk about some of these crazy games. Obviously, we talked about Kennesaw State. They get the shock, one of the shocks of the year. These guys were just an FCS team, and here they are winning the freaking the good old Conference USA. James Madison, we talked about them yesterday, dominating. It's their 3rd year in, and they just win the Sun Belt. Congratulations to those guys. Tulane, obviously claiming their spot in the college football playoff, winning the American. Then, of course, Boise State knocking off UNLV before they hit the road and head on over to the newly formed Big 12. Again, we talked about all those games yesterday, so if you want more on those, check us out from yesterday here on IU Sports Radio. And then, of course, Teran, we had some fun yesterday with some of these games. Texas Tech dominates the Big 12 game 34-7 behind an extremely stifling defense. 2 touchdowns from Coy Eakin. I mean, the Red Raiders had 4 takeaways. They were dominant. There was no way they weren't going to win that Big 12 game. Western Michigan avenges this only MAC loss of the year. Well, only MAC loss. I mean, just a crazy game for these guys. 23-13, knocking off Miami of Ohio, winning the MAC title. We have Georgia dominating Alabama 28-7 to win another SEC title. And that first round bye, they look good, man. Georgia looks really, really well. These guys roll and look red hot. History in Indy. Indiana stuns Ohio State 13-10 to win its first outright Big Ten since 1945. That's insane. A missed chip shot field goal seals it as Fernando Mendoza and the Hoosiers complete a perfect 13-0 season. They locked up that number 1 seed, and the Hoosiers are for real. And then what a shocker in Charlotte at the end of the night. Duke stuns Virginia 27-20 in overtime. It's crazy. It was a interception to seal it here. This is their first ACC game in program history, their first ACC championship game in program history. Darian Mensah finds Hazley on a 4th and goal, and Luke Margot seals it in a walk-off interception there. This was just a dream for the Blue Devils. Chaos in the ACC. Teran, how about these games, man?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, first and foremost, Tulane managed to pull off a big win over North Texas, which I thought was pretty impressive. James Madison over Troy, that was no surprise, as we said. Look, Texas Tech really BTA'd BYU, and there's a reason why BYU's only loss was to Texas Tech. And I think Texas Tech's loss to Arizona State was when Arizona had its starting quarterback before he was out for the rest of the year. So Texas Tech definitely now looks like the real deal. Look, Alabama, I'm just going to own up to my pick. I did not see Alabama losing to Georgia by any means. I thought Alabama was going to win big time, but I guess Alabama doesn't have the blueprint to stop Georgia after all. And Indiana beating Ohio State, that was an absolute dream if you're a Hoosier fan. I will say this about Ohio State. I think they should have gone for it on 4th and 1. I know the fourth
I
downs were
know.
hurting them, but I just don't understand how you miss a less than 30-yard field goal. But you should never have the game rely on the leg of your kicker. I think they should have just gone for it on 4th down, maybe just push it or anything. But that's life in the big city. So tough tamale for Ohio State, but it's not going to really matter anyway. And and I forgot, Duke beating Virginia was just unbelievable.
Duke. Again, we can talk crap about the ACC all we want to because I have fun doing it. Again, I don't even take that conference serious. But realistically, man, it was a great game. Really, really, really good game. And Duke just pulling off the shocker just made it even better. Kind of even further solidifies our comments yesterday. Talking about it not being, again, people want to talk crap about the Big 12, about the Pac-12. The ACC is the same dang thing over there. So East Coasters, y'all want to chill on that. But yeah, Terrence, so crazy stuff there, man. And then of course today the bracket was announced. Crazy, man. This is awesome. So James Madison, Teran, cue the Wario meme.
I've won, but at what cost?
Exactly. James Madison will be taking on Oregon. Good luck. Alabama. We're taking on, and the winner of that will play Texas Tech. Then we have Alabama taking on Oklahoma. The winner takes on Indiana. Tulane will take on Ole Miss. The winner will take on Georgia. And then Miami. Miami will take on Texas A&M, and the winner will take on Ohio State. And that is it. Some teams feeling very angry. That's mean.
Well,
Really mean.
you all saw it. Hopefully,
yes,
y'all got to see it.
That's exactly it. That's kind of sad, but it's the truth. Yeah, dude, craziness here for dang sure. But oh my gosh, just well, let's see what happens in these games. But yeah, Teran, this is it. That's our bracket. Some teams getting kind of angry. Like Notre Dame, who rejected their bowl game invite because they're angry. Too bad, so sad. Texas also not making it, feeling like they got snubbed. Is what it is, man. Tough luck. Ball didn't roll your way. Sorry. Whatever. Anyway, but yeah, Teran, this is crazy, man. First things first. What do you think about this bracket?
Well, I mean, there's no real. You're not going to please anybody by any means. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some people that say, "Oh, this team was left out. This team, unfortunately, should have gotten in." Blah 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 blah. But it is what it is sometimes, and unfortunately for Notre Dame, they shouldn't have lost those first 2 games. And look,
Sorry.
and I get it. Everyone's going to say they should still join a conference or what? Still join a conference, but
Yep.
That's just there's no perfect model when it comes to the college football playoff. So what's interesting about this is that Alabama and Oklahoma will face one another, and the last time these 2 teams faced was this year, where Oklahoma wound up winning. Tulane Ole Miss will be interesting. I mean, Ole Miss doesn't have Lane Kiffin anymore. I think all of Ole Miss is gonna hopefully will try to stick it to Kiffin, even though he's not coaching at Tulane, but still, the James Madison's head coach. I forget his name, but he actually, I think, is going to be the head coach at UCLA after this playoff run. But he is going to be still on the staff. He's still on the staff, and he's going to be coaching. Kiffin just packed his bags and said, "See ya, Ole Miss. I'm going to LSU." So I think everyone's going to be rooting against Ole Miss, and God, if there's ever a dark horse team, I think Oregon might be that dark horse team. I mean, they have yet to win anything. They have to break through eventually. And then I think the most exciting first-round matchup will probably be Miami-Texas. Let's see if Miami can actually prove if they are back.
Let's see it, because we've been waiting for it for a long time. Again, we make fun of them all the time, but just because we haven't seen anything, and all their fans, oh, they're back. They haven't done anything. Let's see it. Then we'll say they're back. Okay. But yeah, man, I guess, I don't care. Our opinion doesn't matter. I don't care. Neither does yours. Anyway, with that said, Teran, let's do it. It's all about the field, right? So that's what we do. We have fun, man. We love our show. So Teran, let's go ahead and finish this off with the NFL. But before we do that, any last thoughts on anything here in this college football realm?
Well, there's the bowl games, I think, are officially complete and finalized. You said best that Notre Dame is declined a bowl. Kansas State, I think, declined a bowl as well because their coach retired. I think Iowa State also declined a bowl. Remember when I said that Florida State is going to be bowling as well? Could potentially be bowling. I think there is another team that's 5-7 that's going to be bowling. I forget the team, but it's one team. I think it's like Mississippi State or something of that sort. It's some team that finished 5-7, and they'll be playing an ACC team. The only irony is if that team that also finished 5-7 that I'm blanking on is facing Florida State. That would be the most funniest thing out there.
That'd be hilarious.
I'm going to look it up as we speak.
I would love that. That would be awesome. But Teran, there you have it, man. Again, we'll get to the bowl games coming up this week and everything. We got some good stuff coming on up. I think bowl season, obviously, we got about a week before bowl season starts anyway.
6 more days. We got the Cricket Celebration Bowl. We have the Buck Up LA Bowl. Those are the two that start things off.
Yeah. So, again, coming into those, man, we're going to have some fun talking about those games in the coming shows. Obviously, we always love to talk about the bowls and all the upcoming games. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of fun with the Army-Navy game coming on up this week. That's going to be a fun preview coming on up on Saturday.
I actually got to correct something. Florida State declined the bowl. Auburn declined a bowl, UCF declined a bowl, Baylor declined a bowl, and Rutgers declined a bowl. All of those teams were 5-7, and they were actually offered a bowl spot, but they just said, nope, we don't want to do it. It said they thought their season was over 2 weeks ago, and their players have scattered, and they quit because and whatnot.
Well, they knew what they were, so good. At least no one's trying to take credit and have a participation trophy here, so I like that. So all right, yes. There. Well, again, bowl season officially begins. All the bowls were announced Saturday, December 13th. Again, the Celebration Bowl that's coming up this coming Saturday. So we'll talk all about these bowl games getting started. Lots of fun bowl games here. Our USC Trojans having fun in the Alamo Bowl versus TCU. That's going to be fun. So plenty of stuff there. So, Teran, let's go ahead and move it on over into the NFL, man.
One last thing. Mississippi State was the 5-7 team that did accept a bowl game. All right, I'm sorry. Now we can move on to the NFL.
On to the NFL. So here we go, man. NFL was nuts. This today was hilarious. Seahawks. Okay, they explode in the second half and never look back. Sam Darnold tosses 3 touchdowns. JSN, man, Smith-Njigba goes off again, and Seattle cruises to a 10-3 record with a dominant 37-9 win in Atlanta. How about these guys?
Yeah, Seahawks definitely needed the win. They're definitely a dominant road team. They're not afraid to win on the road. Look, let's be honest. Atlanta is a clown car show. It's absolute embarrassment. And I think this was a nice little game. It's good to see that the offense was humming like an engine. Seattle also got a special teams touchdown. So I think for Seattle, they're just back on their A game. And in a couple more weeks, they've got a big matchup against the Rams, which I think is going to be massive for the NFC West title and possibly for the number 1 seed. But they still have the Colts, which could be a trap game. But you're about to see that might not matter.
Yeah, that would be something, right? I mean, again, let's see what happens moving forward with the Seahawks. I like them right now. They look pretty darn good. But, okay, so moving it along. This game was something else. Bills, Bengals, an absolute thriller in Orchard Park today. Josh Allen and the Bills survived Joe Burrow's 4-touchdown day to win a wild 39-17 34 battle. James Cook delivers again, and Buffalo is now 9-4. They're up, they're down, they're all around. How about this game?
This was an interesting game. It felt like the Bengals were dominating throughout most of the way, and then Joe Burrow throws that nasty interception to Christian Benford after the Bengals recovered a fumble in the red zone. So, man, that basically describes Cincinnati's season in a nutshell right there. But Buffalo, they needed this win. Otherwise, their playoff hopes probably would have taken a hit, let alone their AFC East title hopes. So they still have that going for them. But honestly, I think this loss pretty much seals it for the Bengals, unless they win out and then the Ravens and Steelers lose out, which is not mathematically possible just because the Ravens and Steelers face one another.
Right. Things not going too late for them. That's it. I guess they caught up with them. Obviously, not having any, not having Joe for a long time. It's just a rough. It's been a rough year. So on to the next season, really, for these guys. We have here Tony Pollard dominates in Cleveland, man. Well, good old Pollard, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Titans stunned the Browns 31-29. Short Sanders threw for 364. Pretty impressive. But Tennessee controlled the ground and the clock. Huge road win for these guys. Titans, this was another toilet bowl, and well, we just had, the plunger one. I mean, what do you say, Teran,
Yeah, I mean, you can't really say too much about this. The Titans did wind up winning. Thankfully, their draft stock doesn't get too damaged. You're about to see why, but Tony Pollard did look like a little bit of Derrick Henry back in his prime. But so at least the Titans could kind of hang their hat on that. But again, the Browns were just so dysfunctional. For having one of the better defenses in the league, the Browns really stunk it up today. Yeah.
They did. This was I don't know. This game. The Browns are horrible. We know it. I don't know. This game's not even worth talking about. But moving forward, next up we have here a very odd football game. I had to ask the question in our chat earlier: who are the Vikings and who are the Commanders? I really don't know. They have the weirdest identities out there. One week they look solid. Next week they look like crap. The next week, I mean, both these teams have had the weirdest seasons. And, well, the weird game continues. The Vikings have been shut out, I think, are close to it this year a few times, and now they're shutting somebody out. Cool. But other, I guess in the brighter news, Skull shutout. J.J. McCarthy throws for 3 touchdowns. Aaron Jones runs wild, and the Vikings blank Washington 31-0 in a complete dominating performance at home. How about it?
Yeah, this game pretty much describes Washington's season in a nutshell. I think they got to shut down Jaden Daniels for the season. Dude is literally about to get killed out there, and if he's not careful, then his season, he could be the next RG3. And we don't want that to happen, or Alex Smith. But J.J. McCarthy did look solid. He wasn't bad by any means. And this just was a masterclass from Minnesota. Something positive considering it's been a pretty bleak season for them.
It has been. And what do you say? I mean, when you look at I don't know, Commanders, they go from an amazing season to crap. The Vikings go from crap to crap, really, because they were hopeful and then just nothing happened. So yeah, it's just been a season, I guess, to forget. Next up, Miami rolls through the Meadowlands. Not like that's hard to do, but Jalen Wright rushes for 107 yards and a touchdown as the Dolphins hammer the Jets 34-10. Total control from start to finish. They ran wire to wire, as you would say in horse racing. But does it even matter, Jared? Doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, Miami just ran all over the Jets. I mean, they didn't even need Devon Achane to muscle their way all that much. And it was pretty much a track meet for Achane and Wright. They had a combined, although they almost had 200 yards of rushing altogether, but they didn't even need to throw all that much. So let's be honest, this loss pretty much describes the Jets season in a nutshell. The Dolphins, I highly doubt they're going to be making the playoffs. I mean, they still have plenty of other significant games to go. They've got the Steelers, the Bengals, the Bucks, and then the Patriots, which Even the Bengals one is going to be tough. But let's see what the Dolphins can do. If they run the table and finish out, if they somehow finish 10-7, I'll be generally impressed. But I just
No,
don't
me
see it
too.
happening.
No, me either at all. So there was that. The Saints, wow, upset in Tampa Bay. Tyler Shaw and Davion Neal, they lead the Saints to a gritty 24-20 victory over the Bucks. Defense steps up late and New Orleans snaps the skid. I don't even know what to say about this game. I mean, again, I don't know if the Bucks are just falling off a cliff out of nowhere or if they're just, I don't know, the Saints had some kind of uproar. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh man, this was such an ill-advised loss for Tampa Bay. First and foremost, you lost to one of the worst teams in the league. Second of all, that loss puts you tied with the Carolina Panthers for first
Mhm.
in the NFC South. And then third, the Saints just ruined their draft stock. So that said, Tampa Bay, if I recall correctly, I think Tampa Bay plays Carolina next week. No, they play Atlanta on Thursday. I'm sorry. The
Atlanta, yeah.
following week, they've got the Panthers in 2 of their last 3 games. So those games, you better buckle up. And don't be
Yeah.
surprised if Panthers Bucks gets either flexed in week 16 or they become the week 18 game of the week in week 18 on
I
Sunday
could
Night Football.
totally. Our very own Glenn Ritter, our Vikings insider here. I have no idea where this team has been this year. Yeah, neither do they. They don't know either. The Vikings, all right? So, yeah. So, Teran, good, crazy game there. I don't know. The Bucks Saints, it was trash. But the Bucks are not to be taken serious anymore. I'm sorry. And the Saints, wow, I was stupid. Why did you win? I mean, there's nothing to play for right now. So, however, there was another game that was played tonight or today. That was, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say about this one. Duval, the Jaguars deliver, man. Trevor Lawrence throws for 244 and 2 touchdowns. A team scores twice, and the Jaguars roll past Indy 36-19 in a huge AFC South showdown win. The Colts just picked the perfect time to fall apart.
This is the 11th straight game which the Colts have beaten, or the Jaguars have beaten the Colts at home, which is absolutely astounding if you ask me. I think it's gone from bad to worse when it comes to the Colts. They lost Daniel Jones to what appears to be an Achilles injury, and he came in with a fractured fibula. So, oh man, if you're the Colts, everything's just going downhill. They have Riley
Yeah.
Leonard at quarterback, which I don't suppose they could maybe try to sign somebody. But man, I feel bad for Daniel Jones. Like, poor guy.
Yeah.
Riley Leonard was the 6th-round pick, and keep in mind he did play in that college football playoff game, but this was kind of baptism by fire. And I'm already seeing the highlight where he tried to go for the first down, and then he fumbled. So,
I know.
man, Colts are in trouble. They got the Seahawks, like I mentioned earlier. That could be a trap game, but I think Jonathan Taylor is literally going to have to carry this team the rest of the way because Colts have the Niners, they've got the Jaguars and the Texans. So all their games are all brutal. So what was looking like the Colts started off 8-1. Yeah, no, 7-1.
7-1.
It's now looking pretty bleak for them because now they've lost 3 straight, and man, they could be without Daniel Jones, and that's just brutal.
That just kind of ruins the whole season's crap at that point. I mean, they had a run, man. Let's see what they can do. I want to see. I would love to see a surge of some, of some kind of nature. But I don't know, man. This is a rough one. This is a very rough one now. And what do? You just lost your quarterback. This is rough. I feel really bad for the Colts, man. At one point, we were calling them the best team in the league, and they were. Just unfortunately for them, didn't end up going the way they wanted. It really sucks, man. So rough go for the Colts. Big ups for Duval, man. So next up, the Steelers take control of the AFC North as Aaron Rodgers throws for 284 yards. DK Metcalf erupts for 148, and Pittsburgh outlasts Baltimore 27-22. Gutsy road win here in a crazy AFC North rivalry.
Yeah, this was peak AFC North football, if you ask me, just because I expected defenses to pretty much be the case to try to win it for either team. And I'll be honest, it's kind of not surprising to see the Steelers win just because the Ravens have been struggling offensively, which that's now a concern. I mean, I know the Ravens were pretty much banged up throughout most of the year. They didn't have Lamar Jackson, but still, it's like now that he's back, what's your excuse now? How can you justify the poor offensive gameplay? I mean, Steelers defense is solid, but honestly, this is unfortunately a loss that was ill-advised. Now the Ravens have to pretty much run the table, and it starts with Cincinnati, which they just lost to last week.
Yeah, and that's even crazier, right? So there you go, man. Another one of those crazy wins for the Steelers. Ravens, man. Oh, you're right. What's the excuse now? The Broncos keep rolling. Bo Nix throws for 212 yards. RJ Harvey punches in a touchdown. Denver grounds out a 24-17 victory over the Raiders. The Raiders actually played decent in this game, but overall, the Broncos were just a better team, and everyone knew that. So Vegas moves to no Vegas. I'm sorry. Good old Denver moves to 11-2, man. Cortland Sutton delivers again. The streak continues. Denver looks good, man.
Yeah, another one-score win for the Broncos. I kind of expect them to win by a little bit more. I mean, at least the Raiders actually have an offense. They actually had some progress with Ashton Genty. I think he had like 7 rushing yards last week against the Chargers.
Yeah.
This week, he had 30 rushing yards, which is a massive step forward. But when you look at it, it's still you're wasting Ashton Genty's first year as a rookie. So, look, I hope he's not a bust by any means, but Raiders just have no answer. And it gets worse because Geno Smith had to exit the game and they had to throw in Kenny Pickett. And the fact that the Raiders even put up 10 points is pretty incredible, if you ask me. I also kind of laughed that the Raiders added a field goal saying, "Hey, we only lost by 1 score." So at least the Raiders realize that they have another wide receiver on their team, Jack Beach of TCU. But still, it's another Raiders unfortunate loss. And the thing is, Raiders have the quote unquote anti-tiebreaker over the Titans in terms of the number 1 overall pick. So I'm not trying to say that teams should. I'm not trying to encourage tanking, but I'm just saying Titans still have the number 1 overall pick, but the Raiders are not too far behind.
No, they're not. Poor Raiders. Horrible team.
They can't even do that right.
No,
and
they
just had to beat the Titans that week.
Hey, we'll see what happens with these guys in the draft. It's unfortunate. The Raiders just continue to look like crap. Oh boy, how you love to cheer on a horrible losing team. It's wonderful. So the Packers hold serve at Lambeau, man. Jordan Love tosses 3 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs grounds out 86 yards on the ground and a score. Christian Watson goes off as Green Bay takes down Chicago 28-21. The Pack now moves to 9-3-1 and stays in the NFC hunt. How about that game?
Yeah, that was the thing that I said. Oh, when you were talking, I think it was Division 3 foot. I think it was either Division 3 football or NJCAA football. So the last pretty much play of the game for the Bears, Caleb Williams threw an interception on 4th and 1. He should have just checked it down, had the running back go out of bounds, and then just drop a play to go from there. Unfortunately, I think Williams kind of thought a little too much about it, and then he threw it to the end zone. But I think it was Cole Kmet. He was covered, and I think it was Watson that it was Nixon that intercepted Williams. It was Keyshawn Nixon who intercepted Caleb Williams to end the game, pretty much. So, yeah. Like I said, the Bears were kind of due for a loss. I mean, the Packers still are the Packers. I think this is a massive win for Green Bay because now they have the inside track of finishing first in the NFC North, and it also puts them in the hunt to try to get the number 1 seed.
It's true. Crazy stuff there, man. Let's see. The Packers, man, massive NFC contenders, and somebody else who's a massive NFC contender. in my opinion, the best team in football right now. Well, second best. I don't know. They're fighting with somebody, and we'll talk about that right now. But definitely the best in the NFC. The Rams, they roll in the desert, man. Matthew Stafford throws for 281, 3 touchdowns. Blake Corum sheds Atlanta for 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Puka Nacua dominates 167 and 2 scores. LA blasts the Cardinals 45-17. The Rams are now 10-3, and they are surging.
The demise of the Rams was greatly exaggerated. And this was kind of the Blake Corum I expected to see out of college, coming out of Michigan. I think Blake Corum really showed up to this game, and I think the Rams need to start utilizing him more along with Kyron Williams, just because if they have that, then they have the best running back duo in the league, or at least maybe close to top 5 and whatnot. But yeah, Puka Nacua, he's just ridiculous. And this was a very good bounce back game for the Rams. And eventually they were able to call off the Dogs. I wouldn't say I stopped watching, but I just figured I just went to do something else. And then I saw that the Rams were just up 31-10 and then 45-10. I'm like, well, I guess the Rams don't need to worry about that anytime soon.
They sure don't.
It keeps them in first in terms of they're now the number 1 seed in the NFC, which is great. But let's see how they do against Detroit. That one's going to be a tough one, and that could be a trap game because they've got Seattle the following week.
And that should be nuts, man. That'd be a fun game. So, moving on to our previews for today, Tara. We have here Sunday Night Football, Mahomes versus Stroud. Prime time showdown here. Chiefs fighting to stay alive in the playoff race. Texans looking for a statement win behind Nico Collins and Stroud's sharp play. Arrowhead under the lights. Buckle up. Who are you taking?
Man, question is, who don't I want? As a Chargers fan, I don't want either of these teams to win.
I know.
But you know what? I got to go with Kansas City. They're really good at home. They've only lost once at home this season, which is incredible if you ask me. And the Chiefs, I just saw on the graphic, if they lose, their playoff hopes are down to 19%. Whereas the Texans, they also need the win cut to keep pace with Jacksonville and I guess the Colts to an extent in terms of the AFC South, as well as possibly getting a wild card spot. So I got to go with the Chiefs just because they have a better track record at home this year. Do not be surprised if the Texans do pull off the win. Just because the Texans have maybe one of the better defenses in the league, and they know this game could be massive for them.
Oh, I think the Texans can definitely do it. I'm taking the Chiefs, but I really, really think the Texans can pull this thing off tonight. Monday Night Football, man, in Hollywood. I mean, it's not exactly in Hollywood, but it was fun to put in the tweet. You know, a little film production kind of night because this should be a show. Herbert and McConkey versus Hurts. Crazy offense. Barkley, good old Devontae. Both are 8-4. Both desperate for separation in a tight playoff race. This one's going to be a freaking show, man. Who you got? Oh, obviously, you got your Chargers, but what are your thoughts on the game?
So this one's going to be an interesting game. So Justin Herbert is questionable with that left hand injury. You got to remember, he had surgery on that left hand on Monday. So this is he's treating it as if he's still going to play. He's listed as questionable, but knowing Justin Herbert, knowing how he's such a tough quarterback, he's going to play. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Trey Lance can manage the offense. That's what they got to do. The Chargers need to implement more RPOs with Trey Lance. Have him maybe go in for some maybe wildcat plays or quarterback keepers. Just to implement the offense more with him as opposed to Justin Herbert. Because the way that it's going, if Justin Herbert keeps taking these hits, it's not going to look pretty. His longevity won't be as good for the near future. So, and they're facing a very brutal Eagles defense that is just strong. But my huge thing for Philadelphia is, will their offense get going? Will the Eagles have the way defensively against the Chargers? Because this is still a big game. Even though the Eagles are still leading in the NFC East, they know they can ill afford to lose another game. And they know that a loss pretty much can get the Cowboys still closer, because that's still pretty much the team that's on their coattails. And the Chargers need to win just because the AFC wildcard race is still going to be tight. And unless the Broncos have a massive collapse down the stretch, I don't think they're going to win the AFC West. So you said it best. I'm going to pick my Chargers. I won't be surprised if the Eagles win, though, just because Philadelphia is hungry for a win, and they have to get their offense going. But I think this would be a massive win for the Chargers. But they've got a tough two-game stretch. They've got the Eagles on Monday, and then a short week against Kansas City at Kansas City, which, God, the worst time to play Kansas City is in December and when Kansas City has only lost once at home. So, whew.
That's brutal. That is brutal. But I got to tell you, Teran, I don't know. There's something wrong with the Eagles right now. I don't know what it is. I think the Chargers are going to take it, dude. This is going to be a fun game, but let's see. The Chargers' entire season comes down to this. If they play extremely well tomorrow, that confidence is going to go through the sky. They lose, they're still dangerous. But tomorrow, I'm telling you, they win tomorrow, dude. They're gonna go off, and this should be really fun to see them go down the stretch with the Broncos. So I don't know, that looks really, really good. So that should be a really fun game.
Something to note is that the Chargers are actually undefeated in prime time this year.
Oh crap!
They won their little Brazil game on Friday. They won Monday Night Football against Kansas City. They won the Monday Night Football game against the Raiders. They won the Thursday Night Football game against the Vikings. And then they won the Sunday Night Football game against the Steelers. So I hope that this final little primetime game is the game where the Chargers continue that trend. Because like I said, Chargers pretty much can ill afford a loss at this point if they want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, man, this is it. This has to be it. The Chargers have to whip it into shape, man. So this is going to be huge. So let's see what they could do. Let's see if they win it in primetime, continue that primetime streak going. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. One more game, Darren, because obviously we jump on Saturday morning, so we're not going to catch this one. Thursday Night Football showdown in Tampa. The Bucks 7-6. They look to tighten their NFC South grip, but you said earlier, I guess I'm not really a believer in these guys anymore. And Baker Mayfield and Namika Ibuka lead the charge. Obviously, they're still doing well. Bijan Robinson and the Falcons 4-9. Michael Penix would have been the difference in this game for sure. Not, he's injured, so Tampa is favored by 4.5 points. It's a must-win divisional battle, and I mean, this is a fun game. I like it, but I don't know. Either of these teams win. I don't know how far they're going to go in the playoffs if they even make it. Actually, the Falcons are already eliminated. Sorry. So yeah. They've lost 9 games. But the Bucks, I mean, I know how far they're going to go if they even get there. But overall, man, should be a fun game over on Prime Video. Who you taking?
This feels like the game where you'd rather watch paint dry. I mean, the Bucks, they're good still. This is the game where they cannot afford a loss. If they lose, I think the Bucks are in trouble because, again, 2 of their last games are against the Panthers, and the Panthers have been so weird this year. It's like they're starting to make everyone believe in them. That said, Buccaneers are going to win. As I mentioned before, the Falcons are literally a clown car at this point. They're a clown car. They don't have Michael Penix Jr., and they're going to spiral out of control against Tampa. I think Tampa is going to have their way with them. If Penix were playing, maybe the Falcons would have a chance. But at this point, it's going to be Bucks. The Bucks have to win this one. They can ill afford another loss to stay in the division race. So give me Tampa. And heck, we could see the return of Mike Evans. Don't count him out in terms of playing because he didn't play today, and hopefully Bucky Irving will be back. But if Irving is back, then that's an even bigger plus. But Tampa's just got to get healthy ASAP. And I guess Bucky Irving did play today. He just had a modest 55 yards, but still, 15 carries is still nice.
Yeah, still got it done, man. So I'm going to also go with the Buccaneers first. What was that, Terry?
The Bucks are getting healthy at the right time. It's just that they got to get the whole band back together. They just can't afford to lose any more big games.
No, I got to go with these guys on Thursday. It's going to be a really fun game because the Falcons, it's a rivalry game. But when it comes down to it, they're just the better team. The Falcons have been falling apart lately, even worse than they have, even worse after they lost Penix. So I got to go with those guys. But Terry, before we're out of here, man, The music's about to cue. Carrie Underwood's about to sing. The Voice is about to sing on Sunday night and get us ready for Sunday Night Football. But I have my little tiers that I've been saying every single week. Well, at least starting since last week. Duh. But I'll keep this going out through December. Darren, my top tier, man. These are my Lombardi threats. Number one, believe it or not, I'm giving it right now to the good old Patriots. This is nuts. The Patriots, yeah, dude, they're 11-2 right now. They've won like how many? Freaking what, 10 straight, something like that. I mean, they are on one right now, dude. These guys are like, they look like a real number one seed. So these guys, I'm gonna barely give them the edge. I know you're probably like, why? It could be the other way around too, with the Rams being number one and these guys being number two. With the Rams, I have them right there, obviously. The Carolina loss really bothered me, but regardless, they're still 9-3. They're right there. Bryce Young, I get it. He's getting better, but the Rams still shouldn't have lost that game. Things happen. Regardless, Broncos are right underneath them. 9 straight wins. They look good. Seahawks, I have them at number 4. They look really, really good right now. Packers, I have them signature victories. Today was a big one, but these guys have been playing so well recently. And then, believe it or not, as much as I don't want to say this, the 49ers, I could have them right there on that same tier because they're back to back right now. They look pretty okay. They're not going to, I don't think they're going to be very strong in the playoffs, but I think they're good enough to be in this tier at the moment. Next one, I have the Conference Hunters. I have the Eagles right there. They're fighting. They're solid. But overall, this is it's where they want to go. I have the Bears right beneath them, winning on takeaways and winning big moments. Today they didn't do that. But the Bills I have right there. Their identity is found on the ground with Cook, but again, can they win those big games? Especially when we get to the playoffs, we're going to see what they're made of again. So Colt, we've seen it, but this year, different team, different year, different record. So I have the Colts right behind them. They skidded out of control. I don't know how much longer they're going to be up here, but let's see. Maybe they can continue. The Lions are after them. They're just a weird team this year that I really liked a lot last year, but I don't know. They've been up and down. Texans, for obvious reasons, Jaguars and Chargers, I have all right there as well. These are all teams who are definitely conference hunters, but I don't know. It's up to them. These guys have their season in their hands. To the teams who are playoff teams that just need to kind of get it together and get to that next tier because there's only so many spots. The Cowboys, obvious reasons. The Chiefs, they dropped off, but they're still there. The Buccaneers, I'm not taking them serious, but they're still in this tier. Believe it or not, the Panthers, they're 7-6, dude, or whatever they are right now, but they're good. And then the Ravens, they're wishy-washy, but I still have them at least, they're playoff teams. And believe it or not, dude, the freaking Dolphins. I have them kind of a team that's like, they're still, these can be a playoff team. Now, are they going to be good if they get there? No. And then, of course, last but not least, bubble biters, the Steelers, they could be on the bubble. Bengals, believe it or not, it's some weird universe. They lose one more, they're gone. But Commanders, they're out. I had them here last week, so I don't know why I didn't remove them. And then the Vikings, they're so close. But each of these teams are like a game away from being eliminated, maybe 2. But Commanders, I dropped them right in this next tier because they're just spoilers now, along with the Falcons, the Cardinals, the Browns, and the Jets. And then total reset mode, just bottom of the barrel, you suck. Tank. Giants, Saints, Raiders, and Titans. And I know I'm just being nice putting the Titans last because I don't want to put the Raiders last, but Raiders probably belong last. All right, Teran, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that sounds about right for the most part. The Broncos and Patriots are both interesting just because they've won. Yeah, the Patriots you're right, they've won 10 straight games, but I want to see what they could do against an actual quality opponent. They've beaten the Bucks and Bills, but I don't know if they can really move the needle. And then the Broncos are kind of the same thing. They're still at least winning. It feels like every game has to be a 1-score game, which is pretty wild if you ask me. The Rams, I think, will be back on track, but this 2-game stretch, this is a tough 2-game stretch because they've got the Lions and Seahawks. And the Seahawks game is such a quick turnaround, whereas the Seahawks, they just have the Colts, and they now have a big question mark if Daniel Jones is out, which I imagine he is. So this is going to be quite interesting for at least the NFC side of things. Like the NFC is going to be a bloodbath, if you ask me. I think it's going to be the same case like last year when it came to the Vikings, where they wound up winning 14 games and then they wound up being the 5 seed, and they missed out because the number 1 seed went to the Lions. So, and the NFC North is also interesting just because one of those teams will be on the outside looking in. And will the Bears continue their success? Can they bounce back? Can the Lions just continue to win? Again, that game against the Rams is going to be such a tough one, but we will have to see. It's a time will tell process, and the AFC is just so up for grabs. And heck, we can't even count out the Chiefs until it's official that they are donezo.
And that is where we are donezo. But Teran, this was a fun one, man. We got a lot out there tonight. Talked plenty of football from all over the place. Well, here we go, man. This is it. This is the end. I mean, this is the end of the road for some. High school is going to be all wrapped up by this week, or maybe next week, actually. Texas may end up. But we're going to find out who our national champion is for Max Preps this year of high school. Again, we just, we're hoping that it'll be Bishop Gorman because they earned it. They deserved it. But we'll see what happens in the Georgia playoff. We'll see what happens in the Texas playoff. We'll see what happens again. Santa Margarita and De La Salle coming up this weekend. Going to be fun, man. Looking forward to those guys going head-to-head NorCal, SoCal battle in the CIF division or open championship. Looking for that. Telling you, and then there were 2. We got 2 national championships to play. 3C, 2A, NJCAA. Again, congratulations to the NJCAA Division 3 5-time champions. Like Booker T right now, man. 5 times. These guys got it done. Let's see if they can go for the 6B next year. I know we're gonna do a spin to Rooney right now. I'm just kidding. I can't do that. Neither of them are gonna try. But there that is, man. I mean, just craziness throughout the D3, D2, FCS, NAIA brackets. We'll see who continues on some of these seasons. We did not think we were going to end prematurely, but they did. And of course, college football, the Division I bowl season is going to be a lot of fun. Again, if that's if people like Notre Dame just wouldn't stop declining games. I'm just kidding, Karen. But we'll see.
Or other teams, for that matter.
Or these other teams. But they only have 5 wins, so I mean, maybe some of them at least. But regardless, we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, moving through the college football playoff and through bowl season, we've got the NFL going into week 15. Man, 15 of 18. We're getting our last few weeks here. So, Teran, we got a lot of fun, man. Any last comments, thoughts you want to throw out there before we're out of here?
I think the 3C2A football playoffs being on the same day as the CIF state playoffs is kind of a little meh, if you ask me. But thankfully, this year's in the SoCal area. So I guess they can go from Orange Coast College to Saddleback College, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm with you. That kind of sucks. Kind of like that 8 p.m. start for the Open Championship. Just annoying things. But with that said, you guys, for Mr. Teran Rodriguez from your boy Larry B, we are out of here, man. We will see y'all next week. Enjoy Sunday Night Football, Texans, Chiefs. Enjoy tomorrow. Eagles, Chargers, enjoy Bucks and Falcons coming on up this Thursday. Enjoy all the great games, and we will see you on Saturday, bright and early, 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. For Teran Rodriguez from your boy Larry B, we will see y'all next week. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.
Peace.